to my party. We're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare.
Good morning, everybody. Hopefully everybody is having a great, what is it, a hump day? There we go. You have to excuse me. I'm still setting up just a little itty bitty bit. Whoa, excuse me. While I am doing that, the debate last night, kind of interesting it almost lasted just a little bit too long, I think. But I thought that, whether you believe it or not, J.D. Vance wiped the floor with Mr. Waltz. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. I don't agree with everything the guy had to say, but the things that he did say were true, made sense, and he actually called out the moderators a couple of times because they were saying dumb things. Let's see. Once again, I am trying to. I'm about 10 clicks behind what I need to do to start, so I'm doing that now. There is a poll. If you guys haven't done the poll yet, please go ahead and do that. It would be greatly appreciated. Go ahead and mute that. There's the poll right there. Looks like we've already got 14 votes. What is the most likely cause of a Iran-U.S. war? Something like a U.S.-Iran war. We're going to keep that rolling there on the side so I can just kind of keep an eye on it. And then I need to get the script over here where it belongs. Where it belongs. We're going to throw you right there and pull you up just right about there. Okay, so it looks like I may have my trash in one bag momentarily. I've got a couple of things that we're gonna talk about a little bit. In a nutshell, I hate to say it, but we didn't do too great last night with the whole defending Israel, protecting them with all of our super great weapons. It's kind of pathetic, to be honest with you, but I think that it's something that we should start to worry about a little bit, and there's very specific reasons for it. Before we get into it, it looks like there are 29 on the YouTube's 29-14. As usual, there's only a handful of people on Rumble that are actually going to participate. Andy Pearson first, Laser number 2, and we do not have a turd yet on Rumble, and that's A-okay. We got 30 people over on the YouTube side. It looks like where we got here? Jordan O'Neill first, Rose number 2, Bob Pita, you are the turd, and my standard good mornings, Captain Banhammer in the house. We got Bob Pita, we got Catitude, we got Cool Colt, we got Ian. Let's see here. We got Tuck. JB the 25th showed up. I think I said Cool Colt already. We got Bradley Collins, Cindy Hoff. Good to see you, Cindy. Blaine Vogel showed up. He's in the house. The militarist. Let's see. And then we've got Rose. Rose and Nick L. Good morning, all of my friends. We're going to click and turn that off right there. All right, so what brought this video on? Well, it's pretty simple. If you guys didn't know this, Iran did a little bit of magic and made they did exactly what they said they were going to do. And has anybody noticed we're not getting any fatalities out of Israel? We're not getting any numbers. They're saying up to 300 of these ballistic missiles. If you guys don't know what that is, they're a little bit different. They're scaring everybody with the term hypersonic. And there's a reason for that. Because it's not magical. It's not magical at all. Viking Queen, good morning, young lady. Good to see you. So let's go over some facts real quick. Let's do some fact stuff first. Okay. We're gonna make this. Why is that way over there like that? We're gonna make this bigger. going to need to put you in the screen there, Mr. Screen Share, Iranian missiles. Bada boom. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. Iranian ballistic missiles rain down on Israel. Updated. Oh, look, one just kind of said don't want to go off. All right, so where are we at here? Iranian launches missiles towards Israel. IDF says this was yesterday. These are the launch by and is that they're using are mobile. They're not ground based. Okay. Where are we at here? Oh, and look, where we got? Yeah, the Green Arrow defense system. Yeah, not so much, guys. Not so much. Completely overwhelmed. Completely overwhelmed. There are dead people at those explosion sites. What do we got over here?
Okay, guys, we got to get off the roof. These are coming down right next to us here.
All right, what do we got here? Let's make this one bigger if we can. That's what she said. So that does not look like look like the Iron Shield, the Green Arrow system. That does not look like that is that's something that's that we're standing tall against. That doesn't look like anything like that. And there's a reason for that. It's because the Iranians completely overwhelmed all of Israel's defensive systems, as well as the United States. We had 2 Aegis-class cruisers that fired a total of 12 anti-missile missiles, and there's a reason why these things could not be shot down. And now that Iran has figured out what their new tactic is, we can expect to see more of that. Yeah, this is them being happy about it. Watch, there you go. They're all Allah Akbar, bro. Allah Akbar. They're all happy about this because they finally found a way to hurt Israel. Okay, these are actually I don't think I can make this post any bigger, to be honest with you, so you can see it. They have some pretty crazy apps that they use over in the Middle East for protection systems, but they literally show where the missiles landed. So let's look at the source first, okay? And so basically we have the Tehran Times in English. Oh, why would they have that? You know, the IRGC issued 2 statements within a few hours. The first acknowledged reports of missile strikes against Israel. Let's make that bigger. Regime, and second announced 3 military bases near Tel Aviv have been targeted. This is the second time Iran has launched missiles at the occupied territories from its soil. During Operation True Promise in the mid-April, Tehran hit a number of military targets after the regime struck Iran's embassy in Damascus. Its Tuesday attack was dubbed Operation True Promise 2. During this first attack we don't care. We don't care. None of this matters. None of this matters, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, so as I said, this is going to be their new thing, okay? Now, what you have to understand is that this weapon system that they're using now is it's actually not too fancy. It's not very special. Generally in military weaponry terms, the term missile and rocket are synonymous with a guidance system. Rockets are normally unguided. Missiles normally have a guidance system. In this particular case, it was technically a missile. It didn't actually guide itself onto a target. It set itself into a preset trajectory. Now, let's take a look at the term strategic missile. Let's see if I can make that a little bit bigger for you so that you understand what is actually going on here. So the strategic missile is a rocket jet or rocket-propelled weapon designed to strike targets far beyond the battle area. Strategic missiles are either of the cruise or ballistic. Okay, we're using that term ballistic, okay? Because these are clearly not cruise missiles, all right? Cruise missiles are jet propelled at subsonic speeds throughout their flights, with ballistic missiles are, while ballistic missiles are rockets, I want to highlight that. While ballistic missiles are rocket powered only on the initial boost phase, after which they follow an arching trajectory to the target as gravity pulls the ballistic warhead back to Earth. Speeds of several times the speed of sound are reached. Now, when they say that, that brings it into the hypersonic realm. Okay. Pretty much anything after Mach 3 is considered hypersonic. Okay. There are no, we have, I think, 12 ballistic missile sites or anti-ballistic missile sites in the United States. They're all over on the West Coast. Ballistic missiles basically go in very high into the atmosphere and come down. They build that speed up, and we cannot stop them. Okay. So let that be known. Tell people, tell your friends, whatever it may be, when they start talking about they have a new hypersonic weapon. No, that's not what's happening. Hypersonics has nothing to do with rocket power or what you see CGI graphics in the movies. It has everything to do with this thing falling back to Earth at a preset trajectory so that it builds so much speed up it cannot be stopped. That is what a hypersonic weapon actually does. Now, with all of that said, guys, Iran has now figured out a way to actually reach Israel. And why are they doing this? Why did they launch these weapons? Well, because Israel went into Lebanon. They started an offensive there. People were talking about it. It's a ground war. They're all freaking out about it. You know, Israel has actually already pulled back many of their forces from it. It is going to be a limited fight. But if Iran keeps playing these games, Israel will strike back. Israel does have the ability to strike back. And guys, Israel has nuclear weapons. Would they use them? I don't know. Is the U.S. going to be able to stop them? No, they won't. They've clearly shown the ability to completely ignore what the United States has to say, because the United States, under the current administration, is completely unsupportive of Israel because it's an election year. That's the only reason. We support the right to defend themselves. Click. We're done. That's the U.S. involvement in the Israel situation there in the Middle East. That's it. That's it. Those words. That's all they're getting. Yeah, they're probably giving them all the supplies they need, this, that, the other thing. They're probably supplying them with some weaponry, things of that nature. But a lot of people don't really know that Israel has a very, very robust and very capable wartime infrastructure. And when the country lives in a war, a constant state of war, they get used to it. Now, there are those that are just complaining about it. We need it. We need to stop fighting. Those are going to be your liberals. And that's what's going to happen. You know, war sucks. I don't recommend it for anybody. But I will tell you is that a lot of people need to understand that right now, this is a campaign. And Israel is going to win. And whether the United States, the United Nations, whether Uganda or Tripoli or your mom's panties want this to stop, it's not going to, because Israel is on a mission to stop this from ever happening again. Fortunately, this will require them to enter in a direct engagement with Iran. Now, how will that happen? I'm not sure. What we have to make sure is that the United States is not drawn into this line in the sand. Okay. We can help. We can give lots of intelligence, lots of infrastructure, but we have to make sure that we do not put boots on the ground. And the reason is because that's exactly what they want to happen. America has been drawn into so many wars in the Middle East. It's not funny anymore. It's not funny anymore. There's still sand in a pair of my boots. It's not funny anymore. So, all right, let's see. U.S. already used interceptors. Confirm this this morning. Here we go. Yeah, well, so what? They fired 12 anti-missile missiles off of 2 Aegis class cruisers. That's what they did. That's what they did. 300. They say they may have shot one down. May have. So this is not a here we go moment. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to check the chat real quick here. Looks like Hicktown Honey, you are deterred. Andy Pearson, aloha. Aloha snack bar. I've I haven't heard that one in a while. That's what we used to say in the sandbox. Instead of Allah Akbar, we would say aloha snack bar. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this. Let's check the chat real quick, or not the chat, but the we got 29 votes. What is the most likely cause of a U.S.-Iran war? 31% says military incident or miscalculation. 28% says breakdown in diplomacy or sanctions. 24% Iran's nuclear weapons development. 17% say Iran attacked by Iran's proxy forces. Okay, great job, guys. For those of you skeptics and are holding your votes, I completely understand, because you don't want to get caught in a situation like you did yesterday. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this, guys. What are you saying? Let's see here. What is this? What is this, Bradley? It's part 3 of 6 of a 6-part plan to destroy U.S. Russia issues Ukraine to drain us money. China threatens Taiwan to keep us divided. Iran divides us further with attack on allies. It could be, but that would require all of these countries to be secretly plotting against America. Let's see. Nick says Iran is playing a stupid game. It's going to win stupid prizes. Basically, Israel will turn Iran into a parking lot. That is a possibility, but that's the one thing nobody wants. So they're going to play on that. They're going to play that game until they can't anymore, and then that's what will happen. Okay, so the United States could be drawn into a war with Iran through several potential pathways, each influenced by a complex web of geopolitical, military, and economic factors. Here are some of the scenarios that could escalate tensions to the point of war. Now, as usual, guys, if you don't know how this works, I say something, you type something, I talk about what you've typed, and then we move on. First and foremost, military incidents and miscalculations. Currently, the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is a strategic choke point through which a significant portion of the world's oil passes. Iran has periodically threatened to close the strait in response to sanctions or military threats. Any skirmish or attack on U.S. or allied vessels would quickly escalate into a military confrontation. One would argue that we're already there. Attacks on U.S. forces in the region, Iran or its proxies, such as Hezbollah or Shiite militias in Iraq, could launch an attack on U.S. military base or personnel in the Middle East. This could provoke a strong U.S. military response, potentially leading to an open conflict. This already happened. In fact, the U.S. embassy in Iraq was, we'll just say, protesters came and caused problems. They're currently under siege, if you haven't been told that, because the mainstream media doesn't want you to know about that right now. But yeah, that's happening right now. That's, as we speak, that is happening. Let's see here. Miscalculations. Misread the report. Let's see here. They're all part of BRICS. It's if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they are all part of BRICS. No FaceTime at the preps. No FaceTime at PrepStock. Yeah, it sucks. PrepStock's canceled. I'm moving on. I'm trying to figure out something different, guys. I'm trying to figure out something different. I have not forgotten about it. Okay, number 2. Nuclear weapons development. Iran's nuclear program. Man, my throat is messed up. If Iran were to make significant advancements toward developing a nuclear weapon, the U.S. or Israel might consider military action to prevent this. The U.S. has repeatedly stated that it will not allow Iran to become a nuclear-armed state, and Israel has a history of preemptive strikes on nuclear facilities, such as in Iraq and Syria. A strike on Iran's nuclear facilities could trigger a retaliatory response from Iran, drawing the U.S. into a broader conflict. We keep hearing about Iran's nuclear capabilities and its development. Last night, I actually heard a very nutbag vice president select, well, we'll just say Mr. Waltz, say that Iran was 2 weeks away from having a nuclear weapon. I'm not sure how he would know that. That's a little bothersome because it sounds more like a lie than insider information. So be aware. Be aware. Let's see here. Yeah, I cried for all of a minute. Cool. Sir. All of a minute. You're such a crybaby, Bradley. Don't you have a meeting to go to? We're at here. Let's see. Ian says, just because the cabal is not visible does not mean there's not a cabal against the U.S. Oh, yeah. Listen, I completely understand, man. I completely understand. The United States is the greatest nation on the planet. People will always aspire to be us. And when they can't, they will aspire to destroy us. It's that easy. Let's see. Nick says, I'm willing to bet Iran has nukes already. There were reports 2 months ago that said Iran was already nuclear capable. Bradley says, I'm about to head in and my DOT physical today. So I'm getting out of the meeting. All right. Bend over, spread your cheeks, buddy. Let's see here. Tuck says, Iran has nukes, Soviet surplus. Did everyone forget? Everyone forgot. Yeah. Well, I don't know about they forgot. I think people just don't want to hear about it anymore is what the problem is. Let's see. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. Number 3, terrorism and proxy warfare. Iranian proxy forces. Iran supports various proxy groups in the Middle East, including Hezbollah in Lebanon, Shiite militias in Iraq, and the Houthis in Yemen. And let's not forget about Hamas. If one of these groups were to carry out a significant attack on U.S. interests or allies, the U.S. could be compelled to respond militarily against Iran, whom it sees as the puppet master behind these groups. And in terrorism thinking, Iran could escalate its asymmetric warfare tactics, supporting or enabling terrorists on U.S. soil or against U.S. embassies, military bases, or citizens abroad. This would likely provide a U.S. military response, provoke a U.S. military response. There's, and remember, guys, this is just the thinking document. So do me a favor, put a 1 in the chat if you think that there are terrorist groups inside the United States right now. I'll wait a second. I'll wait. Damn, the chat is there. We go. I got at least 1. Okay, so I got 2 now, and they'll probably start. There they go. They all just started populating like crazy. Okay, so and you know why you think that? It's not because you wear tinfoil hats at night before you go to bed. It's because we catch them at the border. There was over 300 that were on the terrorist watch list that have been caught on the border in the last year. They're not coming here because they want to run away from their bomb suits. You know, they came here because they want to cause harm to the United States. Now, what does that mean? When would they have to do that? Well, they would have to coordinate in some way, shape, or form, which means there was a coordinated effort to communicate with each other once they got across the border. It's called an infiltration tactic. They teach it in the military. And so they infiltrate the United States. They reorganize as buddies. Maybe they're on the same ditch digging team. It doesn't matter. Okay. But maybe in the evenings, they're smoking their cot and they're thinking of ways of doing things, waiting for the call. And then one day they check their pagers or their cell phones or a special website that has pictures of flowers and puppy dogs that really has encrypted messages behind the first layer in the graphics. And it says, go do this, go do that. Well, here's the problem. Once you tell them to do that, the jig is up. Once you tell them to do that, you now have lost that asset. So if Iran has sleeper cells here in the United States, they're going to sleep until they are needed at the last possible moment to do the worst possible thing. So keep your head on a swivel. Let's see here. Stop 300. So many got through that. Oh, I believe it. And how many have slipped through unnoticed? Rose says. That's just it. Nobody knows. And it's not about the fear. It's not about the thinking that way. It's about, statistically, that's what's happening. What is it? 1.5 million gotaways. What about the ones that came through on the CBP app that were never registered as terrorists in the terrorist database? What about those guys? So there's a lot of crazy stuff that's that is going on here. Andy says, not including the commie left. All right, so let's go ahead and go on down to number 4 today. I feel like today is going to be a short live stream, but I'm going to push this as far as I can. All right, so the next one a lot of people don't think about is what we call allied involvement. I don't know what is. I feel like I could just get like a giant loogie out. Everything would be better. Ew. All right, so an Israeli action against Iran. Okay, Israel views a nuclear-armed Iran as an existential threat and has indicated it could take military action to prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear capabilities. If Israel were to strike Iran, the U.S. might be drawn into a conflict to support its key ally in the region. I think that would have a lot to do with who's in office at the time. There's a very distinct possibility that that Israel is conducting its operations the way they are in order to wait out, to hold on or hold out until there's someone new in office that would give them the full support that they were needing. And that could draw us into a war, believe it or not. Oh, Captain Red Tie may end up drawing us into a war. We don't know. I'm sure the left would love that. Then you've got the Saudi Arabian rivalry. The rivalry between Saudi Arabia and Iran has been a key source of tension in the Middle East for some time now. If Saudi Arabia were to find itself in a military conflict with Iran, it might request U.S. military assistance under existing alliances and arms agreements, dragging the U.S. into the fray. Saudi Arabia was significant in Desert Storm, or the first Iraq War. And so they could become significant again. No one has said, I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard about the Saudis being pissed off because the Iranians put 300 ballistic missiles over their soil in their airspace. I haven't heard anything about that yet. There might be some sabers that might start getting rattled in that region, even though Saudi Arabia doesn't have a standing army that's worth a crap, which is why we agree to protect them. So, all right, let's see. Let's go ahead and check the chat here. What do we got here? Let's see. Stop 300. So no, that's just it, Cindy. They didn't stop 300. They stopped very few of the 300 that actually got sent. You may have missed the videos that I was showing this morning where there were massive impacts everywhere from multiple sources. In fact, Tel Aviv was hit the hardest. So, yeah. Let's see here. What do we got here? Like mice, you see one, and there are probably 20 more. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I know you're making reference to the terrorists. So, what do we got here? Nick says, what about the thousands of Chinese military aged males in this country? Yeah, that's an issue too. That's an issue too. Are they gathering? I guess that would be the intelligence point that should be made by our sources, by our intelligence capabilities. Are these men organizing? That would be the first thing that I would want to know about. Jack Lowe, good to see you, bro. But Israel didn't fight in Iraq or Afghanistan. But actually, Israel did participate in OIF 1. Cindy Hoff, not 300 missiles, 300 crossings the border. I got you, Cindy. Okay, cool. It's hard to tell sometimes as I go back to the chat because some of the older stuff we were talking about is coming through. All right, let's go here with economic warfare, sanctions and blockades. The U.S. Has imposed severe economic sanctions on Iran, or as we've been led to believe anyway. And if there are further tightened, Iran may respond with aggressive action, such as targeting oil infrastructure in the Gulf or launching cyber attacks on U.S. infrastructure. Economic pressures could spill over into military confrontations if Iran feels cornered. Well, we probably need to do is remember how they got the money to build, buy, develop these ballistic missiles. We gave it to them. And then we gave them more. This is the blue tie issue, guys, unfortunately. It's very true. All right, let's see here. Oil distribution. Oil disruption. So disruption of oil makes of global oil markets, particularly those threats to oil shipping lanes or infrastructure, could drive the U.S. to act militarily to protect these interests and ensure the free flow of oil. We're already seeing some of that, but right now Iran doesn't really care about that because they're in the process of funding the Houthis, who are stopping or forcing the oil trade to go around instead of going through the straits. Let's see here. Love how most people think that the illegals are just infiltrating the southern border. Road rage, absolutely right. There was a matter of fact, one of the whistleblowers that came out here in the last month or in September was talking about how badly the northern border really was, and nobody was talking about it because Canada is our ally. It's like, so how is our actual ally letting these people just run up to their border? Why aren't they doing something about this? Well, because Canada has now become exactly the same as Mexico. Okay, where they're just our neighbors, but they're the neighbors that won't tell you if somebody was standing in your freaking driveway at midnight. You know, they're just oh yeah, well, okay. They're that kind of neighbor. Let's see here. Matt says the longshoremen using is executing economic warfare on their fellow Americans. Matt, I wouldn't go down that path, bro. And I wouldn't go down that path because that is an opinion. That is your opinion. I made a video on this where we just went over 50,000 views on it. And there is a lot of people that are very supportive of what is happening with the Longshoremen's Union. But there are people that are saying similar things to what you just said. But this is opinion. And what's going to happen is that they're going to get what they want. Now, if you have not prepared for this situation, then you should probably start doing that. And I'm not singling you out, Matt. I'm going to tell you a story. Yesterday, I went to the Walmart. Every person coming out of the Walmart had toilet paper and paper towels. Gee, why would that happen? There's more people working in Walmart now that are doing the come get your order stuff, like filling orders for you and then taking it out to your car. And every one of those carts were full of toilet paper and paper towels. So people are paying attention, okay, which is great. People are being forced to move into the preparedness sphere because it's just freaking smart. And one day, hopefully soon, they'll wake up and realize that the world will not cater to them. Okay, so and I tell you this not to, and I haven't even looked at the chat yet, Matt, but I tell you this to let you know that the Longshoremen Union is not holding anybody hostage. Okay. The companies that are not even American, who have had a stranglehold on the shipping industry for years, were dependent on these people. And now, oh no, we pissed up the wrong leg. We should have been nicer to them. We should have taken care of them when the CEO of one of these companies took a $4 billion bonus last year. They should have been thinking of these people. But no, instead, no, let's make more money. Let's make more money. Let's automate everything. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I watched the video yesterday about one of the fully automated shipyards that are in California. Not a human in sight. Things moving all over the shipyard. Yeah. Who's getting rich off of that? Not the people who are doing the dangerous jobs. That's for sure. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to go back and check the chat real quick here because I'm sure I pissed somebody off. Let's see. Text lexicon. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. That's a strong, bold statement. I'm going to put that on the screen. Yes, it's my opinion. Didn't mean for it to come across as fact. Text lacks context. Absolutely. 100%, my friend. 100%. All right, let's see here. Rose says, so easy to cross borders if you know the language, meaning how to act, not react, how to not bring attention to yourself. Yeah, exactly. But I can tell you, listen, I can tell you on the U.S. border, they have sensors up and down those borders. In places where there's no fences, observation, or physical control of the area, there are sensors everywhere. I lived in San Ysidro as a kid. If you don't know where that is, that's right on the San Diego line with Mexico. And I used to play in those brush. They're not even woods. It's more like a desert briar brush area. And the Mexicans would come across, or the illegal aliens would come across, and then just out of nowhere, the trucks would just just show up. Helicopters coming in, doing crazy stuff. Little birds, and there was many times where I've actually had the immigration roll up on me, and I was like, how'd you know I was out here? I'm just out there shooting rabbits and stuff. And he was the nicest guy. He even knew where I lived because my house was like so close to the border. But there's sensors all along these bordered areas that aren't controlled. Let's see here, Matt Bingo. If Cuba occupied all the ports in Florida, Fed Gup would turn Cuba into a reef. I don't know what that means. Where we got here? Let's see here. What is Cindy saying? Yesterday was the first, if I'm going to guess, of the month. So SSI payments went out. Something tomorrow with SSDI and SSI at one point, buying monthly supplies. Okay. Let's see here. Chicken McNug says, no disrespect, but Matt is correct. The president is acting like a mob boss. Maybe, but here's the thing. You use the word acting, and we're going to leave it at that. Let's see here. Matt says, I'm rooting for the longshoremen, but not the union. I'm concerned they'll be replaced by illegals who will work for much less. No, that's not going to happen because these are skilled jobs. Okay. I'm not saying one human being can't do what another human being does. Okay. What I'm saying is that people will start to get dead real fast. It's one of the most dangerous. Longshoreman is one of the most dangerous jobs on the planet. And they're just going to get themselves dead pretty quick. Okay. It'll start happening over and over. And people start covering it. The longshoreman will be like, we told you. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't think that these billion-dollar companies want to open themselves up to liability like that. So, all right, let's see here. We had here, government officials are just a mouthpiece, and corporations actually run the show. Unfortunately, Road Rage. Unfortunately, you're right. I was watching a video yesterday that was talking about the people that come in to run the economy for the government with every single for the past 4 presidents. Okay. Somebody from BlackRock or BlackRock oriented was hired to come and run the economy for the government, to take care of the economy for government. Almost everybody in the government who is their job is based on trying to make the economy do something have a connection to BlackRock, and it's kind of scary. Let's see. Let's see here. Brute Force says the administration is going to get us Americans in trouble. It's very possible. It's very possible. We have an inflow of Jewish migrants from Israel. Okay. Let's see here. Cindy says, friends get SSDI from disability on the 3rd of the month if they ever receive SSI. Otherwise, SSDI from the retirement Wednesday of birthday numbered week. Okay. Hicktown Honey on Rumble says unions require 4 years of internship to even get started. It would take a while to replace them. There you go. Andy says I'll stock up at the dollar store, the $1.25 tree store, and grocery stores. Yes, we do need to do something. Yeah, I'm not saying run to the stores. That's not what I'm saying, guys. What I'm telling you is that people are noticing. People are noticing. I've not had a chance to check the gas stations yet, but people are noticing. All right, so I'm gonna take a sip of coffee here. Now is the time. Now is the time during the live feed that if you love your country, type a 1 in the chat. Do that now. I'm going to go ahead and move on to number 6. It helps with the algorithm. For the new people, it helps with the algorithm. It lets the YouTubes know that we're serious, we're here, and we're not going anywhere. All right, let's see here. The next one's going to be political shifts or instability, which is very likely. Domestic political pressures. Either the U.S. or Iran could face internal pressures that lead to an escalation. In the U.S., political leaders may take a hardline stance on Iran to distract from domestic issues or relay public support. In Iran, hardliners may provoke conflict to consolidate power or redirect public anger away from the economic difficulties caused by sanctions. Region unrest. Uprisings or instability in neighboring countries such as Iraq, Lebanon, or Syria could lead to clashes between U.S. and Iranian forces or their proxies, potentially escalating into a broader war. All right. If you got anything you want to talk about on that, throw that in the chat right here. We're going to move on to number 7. All right. So, and this one is actually kind of touchy. So after I do this, then you guys who have not voted yet can throw your votes into the chat. I know some of you are waiting to do that. This will be the last point. So diplomatic breakdown, failed diplomacy. The collapse of diplomatic efforts such as the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal, could remove any mechanisms for de-escalation, leading to military confrontation. If Iran resumes full-scale nuclear development and diplomacy breaks down, the U.S. might resort to force as a last measure. Yep. There's a lot to be said for cruise missiles, guys. There's a lot to be said. Let's see here. Here, the 1st and the 10th of the month get cleaned out from SSI payments and food stamps arriving those days. Okay, so I think what Cindy is referencing, I'm slowly connecting the dots here. What Cindy's referencing is that what I might be seeing is just people with SSI coming to buy their groceries. So here, the 1st and the 10th of the month getting cleaned out from SSI payments and food stamps arriving those days. Okay, some paying attention, yes, but could be skewed by SSI payday. Yes, it could be the fodder that I'm seeing. Thank you, Cindy, for laying that out for us. It's appreciated. Okay, so We've got about 10 more minutes left on this live stream. If you guys got something you want to talk about or say in the chat, now is the time to do that. Also, I'm going to look at the poll. The poll is, what is the most likely cause of a U.S.-Iran war? If you have not voted yet, now is the time to do that. We've got 41 votes. Right now, military incident or miscalculation is winning at 34%. 29% is breakdown in diplomacy or sanctions. 20% is Iran nuclear weapons development, and 17% is attack by Iran's proxy forces. All right. See, Andy says, I don't worry about profit for companies. Are they paying a wage that matches the skill set? Question mark. Automation still requires someone to program the system, maintenance for the system, etc. Yes, but unfortunately, that would that could literally whittle a workforce of 40,000 down to 1%. You know what? There's only so many people that go, it only takes so many people to do this, like 1 or 2 or 3. Let's see. Road Race says, looking from a 40,000 foot view, SHTF has already started. It's kind of too late to prep now, and I don't see us making it to November 5th. No, I disagree, Road Rage. I disagree. And I can appreciate your perspective, but here's the thing. It doesn't take much to prepare. It doesn't take much to prepare. And here's the thing. Americans aren't going to tolerate this. The assumption that something bad is going to happen and that everybody's going to go, ooh, what do we do now? No, Americans aren't going to tolerate that. Okay. Tell you what, you want to piss somebody off? Take a teenager, take their damn cell phone away and tell them they can't have it back until 22 Iranians are dead or something. And they'll go do it. And I know that sounds a little weird, but Americans aren't going to tolerate this crap. Okay. We've got everybody from the New World Order to the UN to all the finance guys across the planet. The European Union. They all have that same you'll have less and you'll like it mentality. You'll own nothing and you'll like it. They all have that mentality, and they sell it as a minimalist approach to things. If you have less, the world will be better. Okay? That's not true. If you have less and you like to have less, you'll be happier. If you have less and you want more, you'll be unhappy. That's the way we're human beings. That's the way we are. You can't tell somebody that likes chocolate milk that you don't need chocolate milk. It's not, you don't need chocolate milk. You can't play the nanny state game. You know what I'm saying? Americans won't tolerate this. If we talk about Iran and war, I tell you what would take us to war with Iran. Them attacking the United States, them directly attacking a U.S. vessel at sea. Okay. Not a cargo vessel, a U.S. warship at sea. Okay. Them damaging something. Okay. That is American. Them killing Americans abroad or killing Americans. And I'm not talking about random terrorist acts that they can just shoo away in politics. I'm talking about like destroying an embassy. I'm talking about attacks on a U.S. soil. That would draw us directly into war. Okay. And oh, by the way, these Intifada missiles that they're using, they're trying to find a way to make them reach us here in the United States. Okay. And when they do that, it's game on. Absolutely. It is game on, because that attack will be devastating. And everybody will be going, how did this happen? How were these people allowed to do something? And the politicians will be forced to act. Let's see here. I'm way north. I'm on chicken. My humble opinion, we are already at war with Iran because Americans will protect our little Jewish brother, and we will be attacked within from sleepers. That's very possible, chicken. It's very possible. Israel is our proxy. Yeah, I guess you could say that. Other than they're the ones that are always being attacked. So I don't know about them being our proxy. Have they not already done this by funding the terrorists that have attacked our ships at sea. Yes, but they could that. But what I'm saying is that they can just say that happened and then we responded. You know, we've become, and I said this last month, and I don't think people really gather it. We have become so numb to war. We as Americans this is just something that we watch on the news. That's it. Unless you have, a sticker on your car that's got a blue star on it, or a red star, or God forbid, a gold star. You don't know what you're talking about. Unless you've served, you don't know what you're talking about. We have become so numb to war that it's now acceptable. War should never be acceptable, ever. Oh, let's see here. That's what I get for having a weird screen name. I got you. Okay. All right, guys. Looks like we rolled up on that hour. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. I'll make sure that I post this poll in the YouTube. If you have not become a YouTube member, please take a look at that. If you're on your phone right now, look for the blue word "more." Hit that. Scroll down to join. Pick the center one. Center one is the best one. Just take my word for it. And as usual, if you like what I'm doing, hit that like button. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. I'm here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. And I even do a few more videos here in the middle. A lot of them are for the are for the YouTube members because last night we actually did the whole watch party for the vice president debate last night, which was hilarious. All right, guys, stay safe. Have a great day, and I shall see you when I see you, which will be in the next video. Bye-bye.